5, 4.
Hello, and welcome to Decades, the show that tests all of the reach of millennium knowledge. I'm your host, Rachel Moskal. Let's see who we've got competing today. What's your name, age, and where are you from?
I'm Frankie, I'm 21, and I am from Littleton, Colorado.
I'm Sarah, I'm also 21, and I'm from Acton, Massachusetts.
I'm Isabel, I'm 21 too, and I'm from Washington, D.C.
All right, great. So the rules of this game, counter's not moving, we are gonna go through the decades. I don't know. We're gonna go through the decades, each decade at a time. As we go through the decades, why wasn't he moving?
From the top in 30 seconds.
All right, I'll be Bluma. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Hello, and welcome to the show Decades, the show that tests the reach of millennial knowledge. I'm your host, Rachel Moskal. Let's see who we've got competing today. What's your name, age, and where are you from?
I am Frankie Francavilla. I'm from Littleton, Colorado, and I am 21 years old.
I am Bluma. I am 21 years old as well, and I am from Acton, Massachusetts.
I'm Isabel, I'm also 21, and I'm from Washington, D.C.
That's great. All right, so are you guys ready to play?
Yeah.
Sounds good. So here's the way the game works. Each round, we uncover a decade. I'll ask you 2 questions each round about pop culture and politics. Whoever buzzes the answer first gets the answer. If you do not get the answer right the first time, the other opponents can steal the question. As we go further back in time, the questions will be worth more points. To start, you're going to start with 5 points in the 2000s, 2 10s, 10 points in the 2000s, 15 in the 90s, 20 in the 80s, then 30, 40, and 50s for the 70s, 60s, and 50s. For the lightning round, each question will be worth 10 points. So let's do this. Let's test your knowledge. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the 2010s. All right, our first question is in a news category. Who is Trump's vice president? Frankie.
Mike Pence.
Correct. Now in pop culture, what book series has been made into a popular drama on HBO? Frankie.
Game of Thrones.
Correct. All right, we made it through the 2010s. That was pretty great. Now we're going back to the 2000s. What war began after and due to 9/11? Frankie.
The Iraq War?
Close, but not correct. There's a broader term. Yes.
The war on terrorism?
Correct. And for pop culture, for the 2000s, what movie had a fish named Dory and Marlin? I'm going to give that to Isabella.
Finding
Isabella.
Nemo.
Correct. All right, that's it for the 2000s. Now we're going back before the turn of the century. Are you guys ready for the 90s? So here's another news question. What American football player was tried for killing his ex-wife? Frankie.
O.J. Simpson.
Correct. And for pop culture, who plays the lead male role in the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Isabel.
Will Smith.
Correct. And now we're done with the 90s. We're gonna go into the 80s. All right, what disease was identified that greatly lowers infection and immunity? That was a tie. I'm gonna go with Bruluma. Bruluma. Correct. And for pop culture, if there's nothing strange in your neighborhood, who are you gonna call? Bruluma.
Ghostbusters?
Correct. And that's it for the 80s. You guys are doing great. Let's check in with our co-host to see what the score is.
Oh, all right. Frankie currently has 25 points. Bluma is at 50 points, and Isabel has 25 points, which puts Bluma at the lead.
Great, thanks, Sophia. We'll be right back after this break when we get back into the 70s. Don't go anywhere. Really?
Hi, I'm Nicolette, and I'm doing the workout from home challenge. So it's first day, and I tried an old workout that I've done before on YouTube, and I don't feel like I sweat as much as I do when I go out and run. It's day 2. I did a quick workout earlier here. I did one that was harder, so I sweat a little bit more. Day 3, I did a quick workout before bed, but it was really hard finding the motivation to do it. I completed the workout from home challenge, and I would recommend it to other people who like working out from home instead of going to the gym if they don't have time to do that. But personally, I think I work out better at a gym where I'm kind of stuck there for 30 minutes to an hour instead of sitting at home where there's so many other distractions for 5 to 10 minute videos.
4, 3.
Welcome back to Decades. We're about to get into the 1970s, but first, I want to know if you could go back to any decade, what would it be? Frankie?
I would definitely go back to the 50s.
The 20s, probably.
The 2000s.
That sounds great. I'd probably go back to the 90s, I think. Early 90s. All right, we're going to go into the 70s. Let's jump into the game. With Bluma in the lead with 50 points, we still have a chance for the other contestants to catch up from this point. Each question, okay, let's keep on moving. With the 70s. Now let's start with news from the 70s. Name the scandal with Richard Nixon that led to his impeachment. Oh, that was a tie. I'm gonna go with Frankie.
Watergate.
Yes, that is correct. And what artist passed away this year that is also known as Ziggy Stardust?
David Bowie.
Correct. All right, things are gonna get a little bit harder now. We're going back to the 1960s. What article of clothing did women burn in protest for equal rights? I'm going to give that Bluma.
Ross.
Correct. Who was the petite model with a blonde pixie cut and spider eyelashes? Isabel.
Twiggy.
Yes. And now we're going into our last round. The contestants with the most points at the end of this round will move on to our speed round. We're going all the way back to the 1950s. In 1954, in the U.S., the Supreme Court ruled racial segregation as blank in public schools after the unanimous decision of Brown versus Board of Education. Isabel.
Unconstitutional.
Yes, correct. Who was arrested in Alabama after refusing to give up a bus seat to a white person? Frankie.
Rosa Parks.
Correct. All right, we're on our top 2 contestants who are moving on to our speed round. Sophia, can we get who's winning going on to the speed round?
Yes, well, it has been very close, Rachel. But right now we have Isabel in the lead with 145 points, Frankie at 105, and in quite the upset, Bluma is in last place at 90. So we have Frankie and Isabel moving on to the speed round.
All right, I mean, it was close, but I guess we're going to go take a break. Sorry, Bluma.
Hi everyone, this is Steven here. So I am doing the no snacking challenge for a week, and this is day 1, and I'm already dying. I love snacking, so this is going to be really interesting. So I'm sitting outside, and this is currently day 3. I almost bought a bag of Cheetos, but I did not, because I can do it. So let's see what the other days bring. Update, this is day 5, and my lovely friend here is snacking. Move this away from me. It was hard, y'all, because I was studying all night in the library, and I was stressing, and I wanted something to eat, but I ate my nails instead. So I can do it, but it was really, really hard. So stay tuned. Day 7 is over. Day 7 is over, and I can finally snack. So cheers to completing the no snack challenge.
Welcome back to Decades. We're about to get into our speed round, and this is how it works. I'll ask you both a question, and you'll both have a chance to hit the buzzer first if you know the answer to the question. If you get it wrong, the other person can steal the questions. Yes, and then it can go back and forth between you guys. So this round, there are going to be some questions that go beyond the 1950s while staying in the 1900s. Now, either of you can answer the question and press the button first. Let's begin. What war spanned from 1955 to 1975 and began the hippie movement?
The Vietnam War.
Correct. What show involved 6 friends living in New York City? Frankie.
Friends.
Correct. We went to the moon in what year?
1969.
Correct. What British band is known for highly influencing the rock era? Frankie.
The Beatles.
Correct. Who sang during halftime in 2004 Super Bowl? In the 2004. Yes.
Justin Timberlake.
No.
And Janet Jackson.
Correct.
Okay.
What year did the Great Depression hit?
1932.
Incorrect.
1939?
Incorrect.
No.
It was 1929. Oh. Sorry. What decade was World War I?
The 1910s?
Correct.
Okay.
1914 to 1918. What year did World War II end?
1945. 4.
You are close.
1945.
Correct.
Okay.
Where did D-Day take place?
Pearl Harbor, right?
Incorrect. I thought so too.
Oh.
France?
Correct. Do you know where?
Normandy.
Correct. And what politician is best known for standing up to the top 1%?
Bernie Sanders.
Correct. That is the end of our lightning round. Let's go over to Sophia to see who won. That was a close round.
It was a close round, Rachel. They stayed neck and neck until the end, but ultimately Isabel, with her lead from the beginning, ended on a high at 175, and Frankie had a very close 165.
That was a great job, guys. And Frankie, you get a Coke.
Oh, wait.
Oh, is it Isabel? Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm the guy who pronounced the wrong
You
Miss
can have
America.
it.
Isabel, you get the Coke.
Wow, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Hit us up next time to watch Decades. I'm Rachel Moskal.